Hey everyone, welcome to Insights by Rish. We are starting a series of machine learning using PySpark. In this series, we will start with basics of machine learning using PySpark and we will move to advanced level. In the upcoming videos, we will also try to implement various machine learning algorithms like regression and classification using PySpark, and in later videos, we will also see how we can implement PySpark on a Databricks platform, which is a data lakehouse. That is, it combines the features of both data warehouse as well as data lake. For this video, this is our agenda. We will see how we can start the Spark session, how we can load the dataset and all the basics. In this video, along with the PySpark, I will also show you how we can do the same thing using pandas so that the comparison will prove as a better understanding. This is the dataset that we have. I have created this dataset with some specific number of rows and columns. For an example, we have ID, name, age and salary. So basically, when we start machine learning using pandas, the first thing that we do, we import the pandas library, we give an alias pd, and then we create a variable df into which is of type data frame, into which we load our csv file. I will provide the path. So this is how you load a dataset when you are using pandas. Now when using PySpark, you do something slightly different. In PySpark, first you need to start the PySpark session, and after starting the session, then you can load the dataset. Also at the end, you need to stop the Spark session as well. Now this Spark session actually acts as a single cluster. We'll talk about this more in the upcoming later videos. Now for this video, when you want to load the dataset using PySpark, first you need to start the PySpark session. So first you will import the PySpark. After that, you will start the Spark session. First, to start the Spark session, you need to load that from PySpark.sql. You will import the Spark session. Now we will create a Spark variable into which we will load our Spark session .builder.app name. Now here you can name your cluster. You can name it anything. In the later videos, when we will try to implement the machine learning using PySpark on Databricks platform, there we will see how we can create a cluster. There we also create a cluster, but slightly in a different way, and we also name it. So here this Spark session also acts as a single cluster that we are trying to execute. So you can name it anything. Let us name it as PySpark tutorial dot get or create. Now once the Spark session is loaded, you ignore this error. Now once the Spark session is loaded, the next thing that you can do, now you can check about some information about your cluster, and this is that information. The version that I'm using, this 3.5.1 is the version that I'm using of Spark. PySpark tutorial is my cluster name. Now that you have created the Spark session, you can load your dataset. To load your dataset, you will create a variable, let's say p_df. We'll name it something different because then it will have same name as that of pandas data frame. So at the end, we cannot run both individually. So we are naming it p_df, and in that we will take the help of this Spark variable which we have created and into which we have loaded our Spark session, spark.read.csv, and here I will provide the path. This is the path on which my dataset is stored, this particular dataset, and let's run it. So now the dataset is loaded successfully. The next thing that we will do, here in PySpark session, we have one more agenda of displaying the columns. So in pandas, when we want to display the columns, we use the head method. So if you just write df, then it will show you the entire data frame, and if you want to see some specific rows, in that case you will use the head method and you will provide the value that you want to check. By default, if you don't provide any value here in the head, it will display the first 5 rows of the dataset, and if you provide it with the value, then it will display you the number of rows accordingly. Now to do something like this in PySpark, you need to use the show method. So you need to write p_df.show. Here you compulsorily need to write the show method. If unlike pandas, you cannot just like p_df, because that won't show you your data frame. It will just show you the column names along with the data type. So here you need to use the show method. And if you want to see some specific rows, then you can provide it the number of rows that you want to see. So this is how you display the columns in PySpark. Now, one unusual thing that you can spot here is your actual column names are present as the first row of your dataset and not the actual data columns. This is because you need to explicitly provide one attribute when you are loading the Spark session, which will make your Spark session consider that first row of your dataset is actually your original column names or your header. So in that case, whenever you are loading your dataset, here in this particular line, you need to explicitly provide header is equal to true. After that, when you run this, you can see that now you have original column names. So whenever you are loading your dataset, you need to explicitly provide header is equal to true. The next thing is, the next agenda that we have here is print schema. Now in pandas, if you want to check the data type of every column, then in that case what you do, you use the method info, and by using the info method you get the data type of every column. To do something similar in PySpark, you use the print schema method. So you write p_df dot print schema, and it also displays the names of columns along with the data types. Again, you can find something different here. Every column is associated with string data type. Usually the column ID, age and salary, they are of integer in nature, but here you can see they too are associated with string data type. This is because originally a Spark session assumes that your every column is a string data type. You need to explicitly provide it an attribute when you are loading the data set for your Spark session to recognize that every data column will have their respective data types. So for that, whenever you're loading your dataset in this particular line, you need to provide one more explicit attribute like info schema is equal to true. Now, when you again run the print schema method, you can find now the columns ID, age and salary are associated with integer data type. So whenever you're loading your dataset in a PySpark, you need to compulsorily provide two explicit attributes of header is equal to true and info schema is equal to true, so that your Spark session recognizes your first row of dataset as the original column names, and that every data column is associated with its respective data type. The next agenda that we have here is, now that we saw print schema, we saw how to display columns. We'll see how what the selecting column is. Now in pandas, let's say that this is the dataset that you have and you just want to display the name and the salary column. In that case, what you do, you basically write df, two square brackets, and you provide the names of columns like df, name and salary. And when you press enter, you will get only the two specific columns that you have provided here in this line. Now we are using the two square brackets because if you just provide a single square bracket, in that case it will display you it in the, let me do this here. So if you provide only a single square bracket, then in that case it will provide you in the format of series, but you want it in the form of a data frame. So in that case you provide two square brackets, okay, my bad, and then it displays you the column in form of a data frame. To do something very similar in PySpark, you use the select method. Now let's say you have pd_df and you want to display the column name and age, so you will use the select method. In the parenthesis, you will create a list of columns that you want to display, like I want to display name and age. Now when I run it, it will only display you the name and age. As I said previously, here you need to compulsorily use the show method with every thing that you want to display, because just by specifying the name, it won't display you like pandas. Unlike pandas, you need to explicitly every time provide with it with the show function. So here you can see you get your specific columns name and age. So in PySpark, you can use the select method to display some specific columns from the entire dataset. Okay, so the next agenda that we have here is now that we have seen selecting columns, displaying columns, the last agenda here is displaying the statistics of dataset. Now whenever you want to do some statistical analysis, like basic statistical analysis in pandas, what we do, we write the describe method. And when we run that, can see that we get the statistics about the data set. We get everything like count, mean, standard deviation, mean value, max value, about all the numerical columns. To do the statistical analysis of dataset using PySpark, you also have a describe method there as well. So what you can do, you can write p_df describe. But here again, as I said previously, you need to provide the show function as well. You need to provide show as well. So when you enter, you can find the statistical analysis of your dataset. One thing you can find here in pandas, when you are using the describe method, it only shows you the statistics of numerical columns, because of course we cannot do the statistical analysis of the categorical column. So it only displays the numerical columns and its statistics along with it. But whenever you are using the describe method with PySpark, then in that case it will also display the categorical column or the string column, though it will provide it with null values, but still it will display it, and I think that's one of the disadvantage. But apart from that, you can use the describe method in PySpark as well to do the statistical analysis of your dataset. So I think that was the agenda for the first video, and in the upcoming videos we'll slowly move to the advanced level of machine learning, and in the later videos we'll also try how we can do various feature engineering techniques and data transformation techniques in PySpark. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.